Hello, dear students and researchers. My name is Mohammad Irfan Maksud, and today we are going to talk about research as a career and writing, editing, publishing skills, which are critical skills of a researcher. It is the eighth and last topic of our course, research methods. Guys, when we consider about a career, we see our community is composed of four main components. One, the government, which is the main controlling unit of all the systems. The second is the corporate industry, which is providing the all resources, which is a kind of barrier, which is receiving things and selling things and providing services. Then is academia, which is doing the research and academic educational activities, and also a society, which is the where the people they are living. And there is another fifth thing, which is critical and connective or connecting of all these things. We call it the think tanks. So think tanks actually they are connecting the all four segments of a community or a nation or a country. If we consider uh, why they are called think tanks, because actually real they are tanks with brains, and that's why they are called think tanks. When we're talking about the career in research, it means the think tanks comes at the first things. Being a good researchers, you are going to have a good, you are going to be a part of a good think tanks. The good think tanks, which are designing strategies for everything, they have a great knowledge, they have the great plans, they can feel everything, they can observe everything, and then they can design a strategies and propose the suggestions to the government how they have to perform it. Also, they do the activities or research or proposals, or strategies to the academia or to the corporate industry, so where the community can live in a prosper forms. If we consider the statistics, how many think tanks all over the world are run now in among top 10 countries? If we see, for example, the United States, they have 1,872 think tanks. Second is the China, third is the United Kingdom, and then is India and Germany and France and Argentina and Japan and Russia and Canada. So the powerful nations, the strong countries are defined by the number of think tanks we are having right now. So think tank actually is a job of a researcher. So if you are a good researchers, you can develop or you can shape a good think tanks of your country. The second important aspect in the career of a researcher is R&D. We know the R&D. R&D means research and development. Research and development actually is the most critical and important phenomena of all the corporate industries and also the academic industry. In all corporates and all the big academia means universities and research institutes, the R&D is playing a critical role. The countries they they developed based on the R&D. In R&D, we have a kind of two mechanisms in which we can say one is the perfecting the engineerings, means in which there is a several phases like concepts, design, test, prototypes, productions, maintain. And then is the when it goes to for a product development, then we have the product innovations. So one is the engineering steps, and second is the product innovations. And then we do the research, develop the things, and send into the market. So research and development is a complete all components of the cycles where you from concepts to develop some things and then to transform into a product and then delivering to the society, which we are doing. Research and development, if we consider the all over the world, it is considered as the biggest industry because it is right now it is having about 2.5 trillion US dollars in 2022. If we consider the top countries based on the percentage with their relative GDP, we see that the average GDP of the world is about 2.27 on the research R&D industries, and Israel is on the top with 4.95%. of their GDP they are spending on the research. And if we see all the advanced nations, they are doing the same. They are spending more money on their research. So research, you can say, is considered as the biggest industry in every country, and it ensures the development and it ensures the prosperity of a nation. In these maps, we can see the R&D spendings of all the countries, the governments who are spending their budgets just on the R&D. And we can see the biggest countries are the US, China, Japan, Germany, South Korea, France, India, UK, Brazil, Russia, Italy, Canada. And we see all these things, it is are the same as the think tanks. They are doing the same things in the same statistics with the same budgets, with the same numbers actually. This is just governmental sectors. If we go for the corporate R&D budgets, and if we see that the top companies, top 10 companies are the companies who are spending more money on the R&D. For example, just on the Amazons, they are spending $73 billion every year just on Amazon on the R&D. And the second is the Alphabet, $39 billion. Then the Meta, which is $35 billion, and Apple's $27 billion, and then Microsoft's with $26 billion. If we consider this amount of money, it is more money than more about 50 countries in the world. So the big corporate R&D is also a big sector here. They are putting in more monies. So they need just only one skills, which you should be able to research. You should know how to do research and how to develop a product. So just two things: doing the research and development of the products. The development product of is not our topics, but doing the research and the skills required for our researchers, which we are going to talk about this. If we consider the difference between research and the products, there is two very clear examples. For example, regarding the COVID-19 vaccines, if we see the all research that happened, the research was published in the journals, like this research papers we can see. And also, when the research is being published in several journals, top journals, the research outputs, then that research is transformed into the patent. So this section is defined as a research section, and this section is defined as the development sections, mean the development of a product. So research and development, they are working together. Even if we see here, for example, the product is a continuous process. When research is published, then you go for the second phase of the research. But product, for example, one patent is being upgraded with the passage of times. So several patent one, then the same upgradation of the patent two, then the same upgradation of the patent, then patent three, and it continues. For example, in COVID-19 vaccines, there were several patents on every steps which were registered during the product developmental process. Research papers research works, which we can say, these having some, when we are writing about actually the research papers, it means the research papers, they are having the knowledge, they are having the information which you can publish it. And in sometimes these research papers, they can have some patentable contents. Sometimes they are not having a patentable contents. And when they are having a patentable contents, then you can transform your research papers into the patents and following the rules, and then you can do it. Also, when you have published your research papers, then after publishing your research papers, then you can transform the research papers into a patentable content. And if the research is applied research, actually, because we have two types of research. One is the basic research, where we are studying the mechanics, the mechanisms, the actually you can say the science behind the everything. And the second part where we are doing a technological development based of research, in which we also call the applied research, and in which we are developing the products. There are 5 ways to identify which technology or process can help in patent research. The first of all, you should know what is patentables, how a product is having a novelty, the products which you are going to develop, or you are proposing that, for example, my research project is going to have this kind of product in future, or this is the solutions, and that products, what type of novelty it is having. Also, you have to make sure that your product is non-obvious in the research papers. And then it should be the obvious, of course, designs in your patent, and then you can develop the products. Also, you should check all the information that you have, which kind of innovations they are being followed, and like these things. So there are five ways to identify which technology or process can help in a patent research in which you can develop the patents also. There are five main differences in the content of a research paper and a patent. For example, in research paper is the information, the introduction is related to the research, whereas in patent, the information introduction is to the prior art, who developed the first, what type of technologies or products are developed. The second is the methodologies, which is both in the same. Third is the results, which again both are the same. The fourth is a discussion which are same in both the research papers and patents. Of course, the contents are different, but in research papers we do a conclusions of what research is have been concluded there. But in patents we claim that what type of technologies we are developing and what type of innovations we are having. There are several parameters also which you should know, that an articles you can usually publish free or in some open access journals with on average fee of about $1,000 to $2,000. On articles, there is no restrictions on the picture. Probably you can publish your real-time pictures. There is a critical evaluations, the novelty, it should be the novelty. The category, it should be based on which journals topics you are submitting and which kind of journals, and they should have a complete systematic descriptions. But in patents, it's a little bit different. For example, the cost, it is much costly that you have to pay the cost of to preserve the rights every years and every 5 years or every 10 years, whatever the durations. Usually it ranges between $5,000 to $15,000. You cannot publish the pictures in the colors. Usually there should be some graphs or vector-based images. There's no critical evaluations. Novelty is important there also. They are not categorized because they are registered by the governmental patent organizations, and also there should be a complete systematic descriptions of the patents. If we consider a simple patent, for example, the patent of a wrapping or toilet wrapping or the toilet paper rolls, which was registered in 1891, if we see this is how a patent is registered. Patent needs just the, as we said, the artistic works, the graphical works. For example, you present an ideology that the patent should have like this, it work like this. There should be a holders in case of toilet papers, and there should be the how you separate it from one side, how it should be separated. You registered all the designing strategies, and you registered it. You called yourself as an inventors of this methodology or this product. And don't consider it just a simple patent. This patent has generated about $16 billion till 2023. And it is proposed that this patent is going to have $100 billion in next, you can say, 10 years. So the patent can generate money. The product is different things than the research. The third applications of the research is the academic careers. For example, if you're a good researcher, you can join some universities like faculty members, teachers, research officers, postdoctorate associates, adjunct members. Even you can work in the library research, in administrative positions, and some or senior management officials, which are managing the research. So you can say that colleges, universities, research institutes, and schools are the centers where being a researcher, you can work very easily. The basic skills which are required by a researcher, I've concluded them into three sets. For example, writing, editing, publishing skills. Writing, editing is the story where the researchers actually they should have developed like this kind of skills. We can see many good researchers who are good in lab, but just being a good in lab or doing research work is not enough. You should know how to design the research, and you should know how to publish the research, and you should know where to publish this research, and you should have the global visibility, because in this way actually you are revolving around the stories, the everyday new stories, the new form of the knowledge. And then when you are creating an interesting stories, then you are publishing it in the articles, the magazines, or in some form of books. So the writing, editing, and publishing is a basic skills, the set of skills which are required to be a good and successful researchers. As a researchers, you should have the abilities to revise or editing the content of the major technical issues. You should have these 10 type of specific skills. For example, revising, editing stories to maintain knowledge below. You should know what story actually are. You should know how to review the content and how to support the writers or the young researchers or the early career researchers so they can improve their drafts. You should know how to evaluate the proposals, how to identify the ideas. You should know the writers and other players of the publishing industry, like the scientific publishing industry or the academic publishing industry. You should know all the journals. You should know the good editors and writers. You should know what kind of how to develop the budgets designings for your research project and some contracts in publishing the papers or in a kind of managing some kind of the journals, some kind of these things. You should know how to coordinate with the authors. You should know what are the contents in the writing styles, which journals have the which kind of required, which kind of books. You can also negotiate the contracts of publishing the books and distributing the books and the journals and magazines around the world. You can also prepare some key performing indexes, and you should know how to track the published works, the work, the research which is being published, where it is going on. The most important things, you should learn how to study the reader's mindset and the researchers, what they are publishing, they have published their research, what was in their mind, how they develop such kind of ideas, so you can present some strong opinions in research and publishing sectors also. A good researcher is a good editor too. So being a good researcher, you should be a good editor also. As a good researcher or editors, you should have some specialized set of skills. You should be creative and you should have curiosity. You should know how to convey the hidden message very clearly. You should have the abilities to improve the contents. You should know how to do critical readings, writing, and the communications, scientific communications, academic communications. You should know how to polish and preserve the science, culture, and ideas in the form of content and text. And also, you should have expertise in the knowledge management because researcher is developing the knowledge and editor is managing the knowledge. So if you are together, you are doing a one set of job. So guys, with this, we are going to finish our course on the research methodologies. If you have any questions, please, you can reach me anytime. You can write me and you can also propose some other topics. So we can talk about all these topics in futures at our Science Insight Academy. Please don't forget to subscribe our YouTube channels and also share with your class fellow students the courses so they can also have basic understandings of the research methods and how to write research papers, how to write the proposals, how to write the ground proposals, what are the key skills, what are the basic requirements, things which we have discussed in last 8 topics. Thank you.